nuggets. I want salad. You know it's a salad, right? I'm looking for salad.
My starting point when it comes to the consideration of any issue relating to free speech is my passionate belief that the second most precious thing in life is the right to express yourself freely. The most precious thing in life, I think, is food in your mouth. And the third most precious is a roof over your head. But a fixture for me in the number 2 slot is free expression, just below the need to sustain life itself. That is because I have enjoyed free expression in this country all my professional life and fully expect to continue to do so. Personally, I suspect highly unlikely to be arrested for whatever laws exist to contain free expression because of the undoubtedly privileged position that is afforded to those of high public profile. So my concerns are less for myself and more for those more vulnerable because of their lower profile. Like the man arrested in Oxford for calling a police force gay, or the teenager arrested for calling the Church of Scientology a cult, or the cafe owner arrested for displaying passages from the Bible on a TV screen. I
Everybody.
Oh. Linking is legal.
Yes.
Actually, no.
I like that. Come on, you guys.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Oh.
They took away my license for taking someone's life.
What happened?
Medical license.
What happened?
Because the drug that I'm elected instead of white house.
Yeah.
They wanted to roll out the vaccine.
I stand with Dr. Miley Ching. She's my girl.
Thank you. Yeah. I know what we have. I know it. Oye, thank you for that.
Really true. Can I sign? Yes, yes. David McBride.
Yeah.
It's the same
Welcome to the 285th Julian Assange Sydney Town Hall gathering. Having access to the truth is the best chance we have for achieving anything that is worthwhile. We would always be able to derive justice if we had unrestricted access to the truth. True democracy would be possible if our politicians would always tell us the truth. Our politicians would be forced to avoid investing in war if our media would always give us the truth. We would be able to better care for our environment if we could freely access the truth about the ways our environment is impacted by our use of technology. We would be able to enjoy optimal health if we could freely access the truth about the food we eat, the water we drink, and the medications we may need to take. Through censorship, those who control the media deny us access to the truth. When there is persecution of those who bring us important truth, there is a chilling effect on people's willingness to reveal important truth. When there is coordinated lying, our attention is diverted away from the things that matter. When non-disclosure agreements are used to prevent employees publicly disclosing the truth about illegal or unethical activities within organisations, society becomes dysfunctional. Our ability to communicate freely with others gives us the opportunity to access important truth. Any mechanism used to suppress free speech is anti-human. Suppression of free speech and the truth denies all of us the opportunity to achieve at the highest level. When we can all realise how important free speech is, humanity will be able to choose a better path forward. Free speech gives us our best chance for obtaining the truth. Having access to the truth is our best chance for achieving a meaningful existence. Join the Julian Assange Sydney Town Hall gathering and take part in the most essential grassroots movement for attaining free speech and the truth. The Assange movement continues. Free, free, free the truth. Free, free, free the truth. Free, free, free the truth. Thank you.
Good evening, fellow Australians. I'm here today not just as a doctor and not just as someone who has served our community for almost 30 years, but as an ordinary citizen who can no longer stay silent. Something deeply disturbing is happening to our health system. It is being hijacked not for your well-being, but for global control. Our Federal Health Minister is preparing to sign binding international agreements that would hand over control of Australia's public health powers to the World Health Organization. This includes amendments to the 2005 International Health Regulations and a brand new pandemic treaty. If these agreements are adopted, health decisions about lockdowns, the quarantine, vaccines, and even censorship could be decided by unelected officials sitting in Geneva, not by our doctors, not by our parliament, and certainly not by you, the people. This is not about protecting lives. This is about centralizing power. They want to give the WHO the authority to declare future pandemics and force countries to follow its directives, even if those measures go against the will of the people, the advice of local doctors, and the best interests of our nation. Under the new WHO framework, we could be expected to accept digital vaccine passports, 100-day vaccine rollouts, movement restrictions, mandatory quarantines, and the erosion of patient rights, all in the name of global health security, all without proper consultation, consent, or transparency. Let's be clear, Australia is being told to follow WHO decisions that are not made by Australians, not accountable to Australians, and not reflective of our values or needs. But what makes this even more dangerous is that the WHO has not earned that trust. This is the same organization that took years to correct COVID misinformation, that declared monkeypox a global emergency when it wasn't, and that just last month misreported the cause of death of a Mexican man falsely linked to bird flu. The WHO's track record is not one of competence, and yet they are asking us to surrender our sovereignty, our decision-making, and our future to them. And while this is happening, there's been no royal commission into Australia's pandemic response, no public reckoning, no reflection on what was done to the people of this country. How can we say we have learned from COVID when we haven't investigated what we got right or horribly wrong? Over 1.8 million Australians have demanded our government reject these treaties. More than 55,000 signed a federal petition. 14 senators and MPs have raised serious concerns, and yet our health minister stood at the 77th World Health Assembly and declared that Australia remains fully committed to the WHO's pandemic treaty, as if we all agreed. We did not. There has been no referendum no national debate, and no meaningful consultation. Most Australians don't even know this is happening because it was never meant to be discussed. It's being done quietly behind closed doors. I'm here today to say this cannot go unanswered. We must not allow our health system to become a mechanism for global surveillance, censorship, and social control. We must not let public health be hijacked by private interest or unelected foreign powers. This is about more than medicine. It's about the soul of our democracy. To the Health Minister, I say, you do not speak for us. You have no mandate to hand over our rights. And if you do, we will remember. Because once sovereignty is gone, it does not come back. And once the WHO holds the pen, they will never let go. This is our line in the sand. To every Australian listening, we must speak now. Write to your MPs, share this message, wake up your neighbours, tell the truth while we still can. Because medical freedom is not a privilege. It's a right, and it's worth fighting for. Thank you.
Woo! Brilliant. This is essential.
Yeah.
But it's the whole notion of politicians collaborating with businessmen to force people to take a vaccination and to be able to work. This is so wicked. I can't believe everybody is an outraged by it.
That's right.
And we have to stand together against these outrageous abuses of power and removal of free speech. What's misinformation? Whatever they say it is. What's a pandemic? Whatever they say it is. What people have got to learn to be skeptical. It's absolutely crucial. People start with the assumption that they might be lied to, they might be deceived. Because basically what we're up against here is a ploy. There's no question about it. It's a trick. They're trying to trick everybody into a system where we're all controlled by other people. Completely controlled. Where we don't have the right to walk out our front door because of a digital passport, because they say we might harm someone else with a disease which they have no evidence of, and we have no way to corroborate, and they won't allow us to corroborate. It's the most outrageous abuse of power since the Soviet Union, the Bolsheviks, or the worst of the Chinese Revolution, or any other dictatorship. People have got to realize this is what we're dealing with. And it's imperative that they get on the street, and we have to come out in numbers. The only way we can do anything is to come out in numbers, so we have to tell our friends and try and bring our friends, meet together in meetings, and we have to stand up to it, because it's a trick and it's wicked. It's absolutely wicked. So if it's a free speech zone, that's my point of view. It's interesting, I think in 5 years here of standing for human rights, which according to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights are inalienable rights. This can't be statutorily removed. We've got to stop complying with any immoral government edicts which encroach on our universal human rights. And people have got to start to wake up to the fact that it's really what we're looking at is not dissimilar to a coup. There's a coup d'etat, control with digital passports and digital money, and the people that control those systems, and the people that control the narrative in the media, and who are now trying to control the narrative with AI. What's the AI? What's the truth in AI? Whatever they say it is. but we know they lie. If we don't know they lie right now, we are just plain stupid. So it's up to everybody to stand up to word of mouth, meet together in meetings, oppose these wrongful wars, oppose genocide. I can't believe that our government is not sanctioning Israel for their actions in what is irrefutably a genocide as determined by the International Court of Justice, the International Court of Human Rights. It's just the International Criminal Court, I should say. So how can we support these politicians if they're not prepared to stand up for what is moral and right? So that's my free speech rant. Don't trust them. Don't be a bunny.
That's Billy.
Stumbled across in many ways was that there was a cover-up going on by the journalists of the war crimes that were being committed by the corporals. Now everybody would have known about this. David was the only one who felt he had to do something.
Former military lawyer David McBride has been sentenced to 5 years and 8 months jail in the ACT Supreme Court for sharing classified military documents with journalists. Michael McBride.
No, Val, not from him. Not from him. He's in jail. He's in jail.
Yeah,
We are all Assange.